Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to One Punch Man 98, Tears of Regret. Now, just to clarify right at the beginning of this review, I've just finished having done a podcast with Grim Reaper, Satsuki, Zonin, looks like it's Matt, I think that's everyone, and myself about One Punch Man chapter 98, Tears of Regret. So definitely go check that out if you want to see more off the cuff kind of, not necessarily a review, but just an overview of the chapter and what we enjoyed, what we liked, what we want to see, and just really a good, healthy discussion and a fun discussion about exactly what we feel about One Punch Man and just a whole bunch of random things and ideas which we have about One Punch Man and our feelings of that, especially with people like Zonin and Grim and all these guys. Looks like it's Matt, Satsuki, very knowledgeable people on One Punch Man and all very opinionated but in a very good and healthy way. So just go check that out. It should be on Grim's chapter. And Grim Reaper, I think Grim is spelled with 2 M's, so definitely check that out if you want to see something entertaining for no cost. I'm not trying to publicize or advertise, but it's definitely worth a check if you're interested in One Punch Man, just to be a better part of the community. So on this chapter, this chapter was so badass. We got some Power Ranger vibes, some Gundam vibes, some Super Saiyan like Dragon Ball Z vibes. Everything. It was awesome. So this chapter starts with Child Emperor summoning 3 AI machines, essentially dog people, to fight for him against G5, and they undergo a really, really lazy fusion, but the end product looks awesome. Underdog Cerberus, and this Cerberus is this kind of blackened, edgy looking machine with 3 dog heads, hence the name, and it runs towards G5 to kind of start an attack while Child Emperor fires some missiles towards it using his tactical pencil case. And these missiles explode to produce some kind of substance which subdues G5. It's like this sticky substance which attaches to him on the ground and it kind of yanks him in. So I assume it subdues G5 while we assume that Cerberus attacks him. But we don't actually get to see what Cerberus does. We see him initiate an attack. But during this time, Child Emperor grabs Waganma and he's like, let's get the hell out of here while we have the opportunity. Which is a wise decision it's a wise decision by Child Emperor at this point in time, seeing as his mission is to retrieve Waganma safely. His mission isn't to kill all the monsters. That's everybody else's job. His mission is to get Waganma out of danger. So Waganma questions why they didn't stay to fight G5, how his father told him that heroes should have to go the extra mile because they live off of everyone's tax money. And Child Emperor tells Waganma straight, he's like, it's better for me to succeed in this mission, which is to save your ass, rather than to be over aggressive and trying to make a point. So what he's saying is always complete your objective, even if it's at the cost of pride. If you have to swallow some of your pride to complete the objective that was set for you, that's acceptable. That's preferable to following the motions that your pride would have set you on and not having completed your objective because of it. So we then get this 3-eyed winged beast that tries to jump scare Child Emperor and Waganma, unfortunately getting slaughtered in the process by Child Emperor's backpack, which I swear is automated. Like, it sensed this dude and it just triggered it and it absolutely demolished him. Waganma shits himself and proceeds to just let things slide. He's like, I get you. And I was like, Waganma, man, this kid. And so we then come to the best part of the chapter by far. Now this might actually be a shorter review than I thought because I'm running through this after having just spoken to all these guys, all these awesome guys, Grim and all them, about the chapter. I'm really fluid with it. So Waganma and Child Emperor walk past Phoenix Man's corpse, with Waganma recognizing him as a mascot for this comedy show that he used to watch or some shit, which got cancelled due to its dark humor. However, when Waganma talks about this character's traits of how he was always thick-headed and thick-skinned, but he would always die in fun and fantastic ways, but would always revive in the next show as if nothing had happened. And Child Emperor starts to get worried here. He's starting to think, oh shit, like this is not ringing the right bells. So if simply being unable to take off a suit transformed this guy into a monster bird that's based off of the suit, then it would stand to reason that some of the abilities that were attributed to this character might have carried over and might have transferred over to him as well. Right on cue, we get a Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time moment in One Punch Man. And I'm not going to say it's the exact same thing, because Goku going Super Saiyan was pinnacle. It's iconic. But this was like, it brought those vibes back for me, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So we get a flash of light, an explosion of energy, an appearance change, and an awesome mini monologue. So we have Phoenix Man literally going Super Saiyan this chapter, having become humanoid, wearing his suit over his head and shoulders, like Hercules wearing the skin of the Nemean lion. That's the vibe I was getting. He's like, I've become the Phoenix after having destroyed the Phoenix. I'm just like, yo, this guy is awesome. So his glorious wings are spread large and wide, blotting out the light of hope for Child Emperor. And I was like, yo, this design is amazing. And Phoenix Man reiterates the point Gero Gero made about explosive growth for a monster. So long as they experience the hell, which is just short of death, so any struggle just short of death, they will get stronger exponentially. So, well, actually, not any struggle just short of death. It has to be just short of death. It can't be anything before death. It has to literally be in that grey area just short of death. Otherwise, there's no point. You won't grow exponentially. Now, I just want to make a point here. Phoenix Man, I don't think he can reincarnate from being 100% dead like we assumed he was. And I think that whole backstory of him coming back from death in the show was just to kind of provide kind of a lead up, almost kind of setting up Phoenix Man's revival. But I don't think he can actually revive from the point of death. I doubt he can revive from the point of death. And he does actually say that, I was close to death, but then I grew exponentially and I became more of a monster than I was before. So I don't think it's a trait for Phoenix Man to to die and then come back and then die and come back. I don't think he's immortal, essentially. But actually, he wouldn't be immortal anyway. I don't think he can return like a phoenix can return. I think he simply just wasn't dead and then he grew exponentially. So what would Child Emperor or anybody else need to do to him to finish him off? Kill him dead. That's all they need to do. Double tap, shoot him in the head, make sure that his brain's dead or something. They need to just kill him dead and he will be dead. Pretty simple. Now, his design is awesome. With the eye on his breastplate, it looks very Sarumanish, or Sauron. Looks very Sauronish, and it just looks really good, cool. The elongated kind of fingers reaching over his shoulders, reaching over his ribs and everywhere, with the nails about his body and shoulders. It's just such an awesome design, and I like the blackened arms, the kind of Elder Centipede looking arms. Really, really nice design. So Child Emperor tries to subdue Phoenix Man with that same substance he used on G5, only for Phoenix Man to bat his wings and summon the flames of hell out of nowhere. Child Emperor thinks quickly enough to shield himself and Waganma, and then proceeds to try to fight Phoenix Man with all of his backpack utilities. Suddenly, Phoenix Man's flames are like blocked halfway down the corridor, and they block from moving further down the corridor. And Child Emperor, we realize, has put up those force-resistant films again, that he used to block Phoenix Man last chapter. So Phoenix Man closes his beak around his head and he looks confident as hell, while Child Emperor is pretty sure that he won't be able to break through the barriers that he set up, especially because he's sandwiched 5 of them in place now. So he's like, he's not going to break through any of these. So Phoenix Man proceeds to demolish the blockade and demolish Child Emperor's confidence, looking like freaking Moltres, just blasting a hole through Child Emperor's shields. And he nearly actually gores straight through Child Emperor, who is saved by his handheld shield, but still takes damage as he's propelled across the room, absolutely just thrown across the room and smacks into a wall. Now, I was surprised here, seeing as he's like a 10-year-old child or something like that, and seeing as he seems to have a very frail build, how he didn't actually seem too heavily damaged or damaged at all, really, by the collision with the wall. He just hits the wall and the wall cracks, I think, and he just gets back up. And I'm like, you hit a concrete wall, dude. Like, you're a kid. There's got to be a broken rib or two somewhere, vertebrae maybe, I don't know. Like, you need to have been hurt there, but he seems to be fine. So Phoenix Man then does whatever Phoenix Man always does, which is give another monologue marveling at how strong he has become, how he is the strongest of them all now that he's evolved. And we then see Child Emperor crying, not because of his injuries, but because of his disappointment in himself for not having been as prepared as he had hoped he would be, and for having to pull out his ultimate weapon against the non-executive. So he pulls out this ultimate weapon, and when I saw him like raise his arm, I was like, this, in my mind, a Bon Jovi track was playing in the back, and Child Emperor just raises his tiny fist and calls his ultimate creation, which is Brave Giant, right towards him. So different parts of this whatever it is drills through the ground and makes its way towards the young Emperor, encompassing him, and we see this giant metal hand suddenly spring through this cloud of dust, and it bitch slaps Phoenix Man straight through a wall and then through multiple pillars. So we get this awesome double spread where we see Phoenix Man looking up at this Megazord, this freaking chibi Gundam looking thing, whilst Child Emperor just looks down at him, and I was like, this is such an awesome double spread, and it just shows the artwork once again from Marta, but it shows that Child Emperor was, even though he didn't want to pull it out, he was always prepared, a key feature of Child Emperor. However, judging Child Emperor's lack of usage of this ultimate weapon prior to the danger posed by Phoenix Man until he was reincarnated, Phoenix Man deduces correctly that Child Emperor actually doesn't have much time to use the suit. Otherwise, he would have used it sooner. He would have used it as soon as he saw Baganma, grabbed him, and then got the hell out of shot, you know? So he hits the nail on the head with this idea, with this deduction, and Child Emperor is now adamant that he has to finish the fight in the 2 minutes 38 seconds he has left, which is key for him. Now, there's a whole bunch of things we talked about in the podcast which you can go see, like G5 possibly being Drive Knight, G5 then possibly aiding Child Emperor in this fight against Phoenix Man. That would be cool, but obviously it would take some of the fight away from Child Emperor. We had a whole bunch of different discussions which you should go and check out for your own sanity and for my, like, just so that you have a more wholesome approach to this whole One Punch Man thing. So let me know what you guys thought of this review. Let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in a bit.